everybody, and welcome to Monday. It's great to see y'all. I hope everything went well. Hope you had a great break and got all you wanted to eat and all that. We have on Thursday our next UA coming up. So today we're going to review kinetic and potential energy. So for today, our CO, energy can be categorized as potential or kinetic. And our LO is, I will practice explaining how potential and kinetic energy changes in different scenarios. So in our activity, that's what we're going to be dealing with. But for this, we're just going to do a basic review of what kinetic and potential energy is. So when we think about it, we know we have two types. We have kinetic energy, and that's the energy of motion. And we have potential energy, and that's the stored energy. If you look down at the bottom right, you'll see I have a little graphic there and the idea of where potential and kinetic energy lies in a system. What we really got to start getting the grasp of when we think about it, kinetic energy is how big and how fast something moves. And potential energy also deals with how big it is, but how high it is from top to bottom. What is bigger? So let's look at it in our roller coaster scenario here. I have a whole roller coaster scenario set up. And what we want to look at first is the idea is where's there the most potential energy? And you'll see I have A and B labeled here. These are where we have the most potential energy. It's because it's at the greatest height. A is a little bit taller, so it's going to have a bit more potential energy. But we've got to keep in mind the idea of how high it is relates to the idea of how much potential energy it has. In this one, we're looking at C and D, and this is our kinetic energy at its most. D being a bit more because it's its lowest point. C's right there with it because it's down there also. But what we got to think about when you look at the arrows from A to C, potential energy is transformed into kinetic energy, which goes back up into B to potential energy, then back down to D for kinetic energy. When we look at E and F here, these are kind of the midpoints, and the idea of they have both because we aren't at our maximum bottom, but we also aren't at our maximum height. So they contain both, but you have to realize top height, potential energy, bottom height, kinetic energy. So just a quick review of this. Kinetic energy increases with the amount of speed. Maximum is usually found at its lowest point. When we look at our picture here on the right, you can see potential energy is when it's highest. Kinetic energy comes when it's at its lowest. Potential energy is the stored energy and usually found at the highest point of the system. Just real quick what I have here, and I'm going to put this slide presentation on also because obviously you can't click on these, but when you click on them, the right-hand side is a little stop action video that shows how potential and kinetic energy changes as you go through the roller coaster system. And the second one is just a cute little cartoon on the idea of how potential and kinetic energy relate to each other. Hope y'all really had a great break. I miss y'all guys. Look forward to seeing you soon. And with that, we're done. Bye. If I can get it to stop somehow.